So I actually haven't shown this in a while, but just to kind of highlight on a few ways to get started with campaigns in Command. Number one, just make sure your social medias are connected to your Command account. You can do that through your settings. If you come into Command, beside your name, drop down and come into settings, you can connect things like your Facebook, your Twitter. So make sure that's kind of taken care of just so you can jumpstart right into the ads and you don't have to wait. Create a Facebook business page if you don't already have one. So this is huge. You cannot run an ad on a Facebook profile. It has to be a business page. Think about where you want the ad to take the consumer. So whether that be your website, an app download link, you can create a landing page if you want. I have quite a few Facebook Ad Fridays on that about how to do a landing page for a listing. That's definitely an option. If you kind of want less work, you can just use your generic agent site page. You all should have one. And then the way I'm doing it today is filtering the results on a website in a way to get, when they click through, it shows them certain houses that meet the criteria that I'm showing in the ad. So think about your goal. What are you creating the ad for? I'll kind of hit on this more when it comes to actually creating the ad, but you do have two options. Basically leads versus just awareness. So I'll show you the difference between those when it comes time to actually do the ad. So I'm going to go back into Command and I'm just going to go to the home page. And since I don't have to do a listing or a landing page for this one, I'm just going to jump straight into campaigns. So this is where you run your Facebook ads through. We're the only real estate company with a partnership with Facebook. So that's why we're able to do that. One of the cool things is all of the leads that come in from your ads, if you're running them through Command, they automatically get added into your database. So I get the question a lot, what's the difference between running them through Command versus just running them through Facebook? It's really the difference. It kind of just saves you that step of having to add them in here. So I'm going to go into campaigns. And when you first get in here, it's going to show you kind of just an overview. You can see like how much money you've spent, your lead to goal, if it's, on target with whatever goals you've put in. I haven't done a whole lot of ads in the last few days just because of, holidays and things like that. We're kind of getting back into it. But if you need some inspiration, that's on there as well. But what we're going to focus on today is the paid ads. So once again, good amount of information in here. So I did one a few weeks ago on one of our agents' listings. I ended up with 12 leads at $1.67 per lead, which if you've looked at any kind of lead purchasing software, that's practically dirt cheap. So just to get started, the hardest part of this whole thing, you're going to see it's not really that intimidating, but I'm going to hit create campaign. And you have the option to do a paid social ad, or you can do a Google search ad. We're going to stick with paid social ad. Enter a campaign name. Today, I'm going to be doing this on houses that are $250,000 or less. So I'm just going to say, I like to name it something that I can reference back to easily and know what it was about. So you have to choose a goal. It doesn't really change the ad that much, with the exception being if you are wanting to pull something from the MLS, you're going to want to do it as advertised listing because that automatically makes you force a list or choose a listing. I'm just going to do this one as attract buyers. And you have the option to run it on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Facebook is kind of the tried and true, so that's what I'm going to stick with. And I am going to create campaign. I'm going to give it a minute to load, and then this is where we actually start mapping out the campaign. So I think this whole box right here is probably the hardest part of the whole kind of creating an ad, and it's really just because you have to come up with the text. I have cheated. I already have text written out because I don't think we want to sit here and wait for me to come up with something creative. That's not really beneficial to you. So the main copy is going to be what pops up right here. So I'm just going to paste in what I have. So I'm saying, let us find the one for you. Houses are flying off the market right now. We have a list of Fayetteville area homes that are under $250,000. Click to find your perfect one. Should be at the perfect price. So short, sweet. I'm not giving away too much information, which is something I always like to kind of reference back to. You never whether it be, you know, a listing, anything like that, you never want to give away like the address. I don't like to give away the price in ads, but this is kind of different just because, you know, it's showing a wide variety of houses. It's not showing just one, because, you know, that can deter them from clicking on the ad, especially, you know, if it's not in their price point, or if you give them the address, they can just take that, put it into Google, and then they get the information without you capturing them as a lead. So less is more. Kind of give them some key facts that make them leave them wanting more and make them want to click on this button, because that is the entire goal of this whole process. So you do also have emoji options. Last I checked though, so I already wrote in all of my text. Last I checked, so I kind of, you know, I messed up. If I want to use the ad or the emojis, you kind of have to do them as you type. When I have all of this in right now, I can't add them in. I could easily like maneuver the copy and pasting. So if I wanted to put in a fire emoji, I could do that and then paste my text back in. I had a $sign here. That's why it's missing one. You can search for pretty much whatever you want. So use the little dollar symbol. And then you'll see what they actually look like on Facebook over here. You can change between Facebook preview on web and mobile. I'm going to do a heart eye emoji. So there's my emojis. You know, you either love or you hate emojis. It's really, you know, it's personal preference. If you don't want to use them, then don't. If you think that they make a difference, really just whatever you think will grab somebody's attention and get them to read your ad. Your headline is going to be this bold text right here. Somebody is vacuuming, so I apologize if you guys can hear that. Let me pop open my cheat sheet. So I'm saying click learn more for homes $250,000 or less. Always referencing back to that, what they're going to get by clicking this learn more button. In this instance, if they click the learn more button, give me their information, they will get a list of homes that are $250,000 or less. The description, so you'll see down here, it's only shown in some placements. I guess it kind of depends where the ad shows up. I always say use something that will add to the ad, but it won't take away from the ad if it's one of those instances where it doesn't pop up. It actually used to give you suggestions, which I guess they took away. But so I'm just going to say something like, I'm just going to say, let us help you find your home. That way, you know, if they see it, great. If they don't see it, we're not really missing anything key in this ad. I always like to point out, don't offend anybody. Nothing like that. It has to go through Facebook's approval process. So if you want to read that, you can, but kind of use your best judgment. It is showing up on your business page. So you want this to be a reflection of you, your business, or company. But right now, that's my text. So I'm going to hit save ad text. And then next is my ad media. So at this point, the hardest part of the whole ad is done. I've done my text. I just need to pull in my picture. So I already have a picture set up. Let me see if I can pull it from this computer. Let me see if I can find it in this computer. Okay, that is what I want. So I will show you how I got this picture, but this is just what I'm using. And Square is really what I formatted it for, so that's what I'm going to choose. I'm going to save image, and it is popping up. This computer is so oddly shaped, the screen, but it is popping up over there. It's a little bit huge. Your DBA logo, you can choose whether you want it on the right side of your image or the left side. I think I'm going to go with the right side. And, you do have the option to add up to 5 images in your ad. It'll just scroll through them. Hi. And so I'm going to save ad media. So right now my ad is pretty much set up. I have my text, I have my pictures, I'm ready to go. So channel options, we're going to configure this for the Facebook ad. It has brought in my account because that is what's in my settings. Like I mentioned, you can't run it on a personal profile. So whatever page is connected to my account will pop up. So I'm going to choose Keller Williams-Fayetteville. And so next option is your destination. This is where you get to choose, do you want to get leads or do you just want as many views as possible? The difference between the two of these, if you choose the use Facebook lead generation form, when they click on this learn more button, if you've ever clicked on an ad on Facebook, you might have seen this. It'll pull up a little box and it'll ask you for, maybe your name, your phone number, your email address. And basically you can't click through to the content of the ad without putting that information in there. That is what actually captures them as a lead. And that information they put in there is what gets added into your contacts. If you use a site or landing page, when they click learn more, it is going to take them directly to whatever landing page you've chosen. So at that point, the only way you could capture them as a lead is if, maybe like if you have, I'm going to use like our website, if they were to input their name, we don't have one right here, but if we had like a contact us and they put in their information there, that's the only way that they will be captured. So what Facebook or what Command is going to do at that point is just go for views. So I've seen some hit like 50,000 views and get 0 leads. So, it's up to you really. If you're going for leads, you're always going to want to use this Facebook lead generation form. If you just kind of want to get your name out there or get whatever it is in front of as many people as possible, you might want to use this site or landing page option. Your button call to action label, really the only one that fits this ad is learn more. I've actually always used learn more. I've only used the apply now once in an ad, and it was for Keller Mortgage. Follow up destination URL. So this is where when they click learn more, give me their information, this is where it is going to take them. So you could just hit choose landing page. All of your agent site pages will pop up here. So if I just wanted to use my agent site homepage, I could click that, or download my app, and you're good to go. I'm going to show you how you can get it to where it is filtered directly to something like this, being $250,000 or less. So you would go to your website. I'm on just our Market Center website because I run these for the Market Center. So this is our website. Just go to whatever website yours is. If you need to know what that is, come into this consumer applet and it'll have your web address there. I am going to scroll down to wherever I have the search for homes button, and I'm not going to type anything in. I'm just going to hit search. So now it is I already gave it permission to find my location. So it knows where I am. It is giving me properties. I can zoom out and more properties will show up. So I'm going to just zoom all the way out just so I can get as many as possible. That was like a good starting point. And so if I copied and pasted this, it would take them directly to this page, but I'm only showing houses that are $250,000 or less. So you have these filters here. If I click price, I can narrow it down to 200, maybe 250,000 or less, and it is going to filter it to homes that only match that criteria. So you could do this for pretty much anything. You could do more than 3 bedrooms. You could do less than $1,000. You could do more than 300,000. One that I like to do a lot, if you hit this more button and scroll down, you can do ones that have been price reduced in the last 7 days. You can do really pretty much anything that there's a filter for, you can run an ad on. So if you don't have a listing, that is no excuse to not be using Facebook ads. So I am going to copy this URL directly, and I'm going to just paste it in here. Make sure you get rid of that. I'm going to paste it in. It's going to think for a second. And then it's giving me the check mark, so it is good to go. Ad targeting. So based on whatever you've put in, it's going to kind of pull from your location. So mine is Fayetteville. Radius is 20 miles. That is the default. You can easily just be done with it here. If you want to try these custom settings, just toggle that on and it's going to give you a few more options. So if you wanted to change your location, change the mile radius, that's something that you can do. You also have the expert targeting. It's optional, but I will show you. I'm hit or miss with whether I use it and whether I don't. I really don't know that it makes that much of a difference, but you might find that it does. So I recommend trying it out. you just hit add interests. And then you basically have an entire list of various interests you can pull from. If you need some suggestions, I always pull in things like Zillow. I pull in things like Zillow. I never pull in anything that might target agents. So Zillow, but not Premier Agent, Zillow and Trulia. You can do Trulia. I can search for mortgage, pull in any of those, maybe investing. You know, you could pull in real estate investing, creative real estate investing. If you're highlighting a certain listing that has, it has a pool or it has certain things that you want to focus on, that's definitely something you can do. Just search for the interest. If it's not in there, then it's not. And if you can find something similar, you can pull in a few things. This is just designed to help. It doesn't limit who sees your ad, but it targets your ad in a way that hopefully it gets it in front of people who are most likely going to be interested in it. I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm not going to do any expert targeting today. I'm going to save Facebook ad. At this point, my ad is built out. So the last step, which should be the easiest, is duration and budget. I always do Monday through Thursday. Oh, sorry. I do Monday through Friday. So that gives me 4 full days. I recommend doing them on weekends. It's just I'm not checking the leads and I don't want one to, fall under the cracks. So that's why I only do them on Monday through Friday, just because somebody's here to get a notification of when we get the ads or when we get leads. Definitely think about when you think people are more than likely on Facebook. We see a ton of leads roll around between the hours of like 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. So whatever you think, if you think they're more likely to be on Facebook on Saturday and Sunday, you could easily just do a 2-day ad. It doesn't have to be 4 days. The default is 10 days. I don't know that I recommend that. I think the shorter, the better, just because people can, tend to get burnt out if they see it too many times. But 4 days, it's worked so well for us. Total campaign budget. I just always knock mine down to 20. That's just what we do per week. It is totally up to you. So whatever budget you want to do, if you're just doing a $5 ad for a day just to see how it works, there's no reason you shouldn't do that. But there's my duration. So I have 4 full days, $20, which puts me to $5 a day. I'm going to save that. I'm going to give my ad one last little look over. That looks good. So I'm going to publish campaign. I already have my card in here. It's going to ask you for that. So I'm going to create campaign. I'm going to let it think. I'm going to let it think for a long time. Okay, so now it is taking me back to this screen. You can see it's pending review. Like I mentioned, it does have to be reviewed by Facebook. Once the ad is going, all of these numbers will update in live time. So your CPM means how much you would have had to spend for it to get 1,000 views. Your cost per click, your cost per lead captured, and then your total spend. The way this works, it does not take your money right up front. So even though I said I want to spend $20 and I agreed to that, it hasn't officially taken anything. I have one so this one I have an example of. It wasn't performing very well at all, but it had only taken $8.69 of my $20. So you can, when they're active, if you see that it's not performing the way you want it to be performing, you can stop them. You don't lose all of your money. It does go back into your account as a credit for you to use for your next ad. So, there's very little risk. So if this one gets to, $10 and we're 3 days or we're 2 days in and I have, no leads, I can stop it and I can just try again next time. So that's kind of cool how that works. I'm going to stop the recording.